Hello, and thank you for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Oh, when people start listening to my videos, because I have some videos from back in the day where I've been saying this. I believe I have the episode where I have a collection of different Republicans who back in the day were warning us. They used to, and it's crazy because I know I have the episode where I was talking about how like Republicans were finally realizing he can be a tool. The orange man can be a tool. And I showed how some of the Republicans kept saying in the like 2016, 2017, ever since that escalator, people kept warning us. And then even when he won during the first presidency, people were leaving out. It's like, oh, if there was that escalator would have been full of people exiting, and then you might have seen one or two people going up that elevator, but you would have been seeing a whole crowd of people leaving. Get like, and even telling the people who were going up, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I promise you, you don't want to do that. Listen to me. I'm warning you because then, like a couple weeks later, or a month later, 2 months later, a year later, you're going to be seeing that person doing the kind of like the walk of shame, the going down that escalator, like, dang, they told me so. They told me so. They told me so. And but then they're going to be like, at least I can write a book on this. At least I can write a book and profit off of this and go on different TV channels and stations in order to tell people about this man and about the hatred and vitriol in this man. But did enough people listen and pay attention? No. How many people thought all of these people were lying? Oh my gosh, how many MAGA people are out there? How many Republicans and conservatives are out there? So many of these people kept saying that all of these people were lying. But I still haven't done the episode where I can I can kind of I can kind of understand that because I used to be the one that everyone said was a liar. It's like, and since it's like once you have one person say you're a liar, and then another person, once you start having a crowd, everyone believes all of the people calling that person a liar. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just like I've been in the shoes where everyone was calling me the liar, but I have the opposite personality, and maybe that's one reason why things turned out the way it did for me and why things are turning out the way they are for the orange guy, because the orange guy just doesn't give a crap. And in interviews, he was like, deny it, just deny it and put the blame on someone else. It's like he has said his secrets. He has told people what to do. Like, if you get caught in something, and if you made a mistake and did something, if you did something that's wrong and they catch you, lie about it. Get out of it. Put the blame on someone else. And look what he has been doing. But, oh yeah, grab some tea, grab a snack, because you already know I take a bit. Like, my episodes are 20 to 30 minutes. But if you're new, hi, hello, how are you? Just know I tell story times, I talk politics, I talk dating nightmares, which a lot of the dating nightmares are political. When people, especially when men have the nerve to ask, what do politics have to do with dating? Ha ha ha. I have more material now to prove to them because, oh, yeah, they hate me. Once I prove to them that politics have a great deal to do with dating, they hate me. That's when they call me out my name and tell me where I can go and call me the N word, the B word, the C word, the P word. Almost, yeah. If you can think of a hateful word that starts with a certain letter, yeah, include that one too. Oh, especially Jim Crow and stuff like that. Yeah, include that stuff too. But their ignorance is my bliss. And especially when they message me, when they message me, It's just more proof. Because if you have been looking at these episodes, darling, you already know I got the screenshots. And the thing is, I have so many more, but oh, I'm still trying to get my other businesses in order. Or I should say businesses, because this isn't monetized yet. But it's like this is more of my journal that anyone can listen to kind of feel, you know. But okay, back to the whole political stance and everything. But yeah, it's nice to meet you. Just know I'm going to be having more uh well, Reddit stories, when I'll get to it when I get to it. But I have two disability stories that I want to talk about, because yeah, handicapable. I was born with a disability. Everyone said I was a liar until literally it was, yeah, look, I have over 400 episodes. Go catch up. I tell a lot of it. I'm still gonna tell more of it, but over time. But yeah, speaking of, oh yeah, I was like, once I go to therapy and start breaking some of this stuff down, I'll be ready for telling more of the trauma and stuff that I went through. But I will be talking about that woman that said that she fell in love with her therapist. Ooh. I mean, if I didn't already upload it, okay. Either way, listen to that one, because yeah, my ex is bipolar schizophrenic. Mr. Lockakey. Oh, I have so many. Yeah, go watch the episodes about Mr. Lockakey. Who. This woman. Because yeah, I'm listening to some of the other people, and some people are saying that she like, and like she already said like some of her diagnosis, I believe, and stuff like that. But who, she has a lot of similarities when it comes to my ex, Mr. Lockakey, and I'm just like, darling, yeah, I, whatever meds you're taking, it's like, cause she kept saying that she's balanced, that she's okay, that she's all right. I don't think she's all, like, no, yeah, no. But I mean, I have a disability, so part of me is just like, you know what? I mean, I can't judge, but based off that video, it's really hard not to, because it's like, baby, darling, mm, with some of the thing with the story times you were telling, yeah. But at the same time, with my story times, people might be judging me and telling me that I'm not telling the truth, that I need to go get help, like, because especially my disability and my dating stories. But that's one reason why, after you've been called a liar for years, you learn to get evidence. And that's one reason, again, I got the screenshots. Like, knowing, like, yeah, if people call me a liar, I don't even care anymore. I'm like, okay, well, call me Pinocchio. All right, what's the female version name of Pinocchio? Because, yeah, call me that. It's like, yeah. But because I, all my stories are real. My story times, I tell my life. And one reason is because everyone said I was a liar. So I went through so much trauma, pain, and suffering and everything like that. But now some people, they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, oh, I used to tease you, oh, I mocked you, or like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Now what? But now let's flip it and reverse it. Because what about if everyone who was calling somebody a liar and a deceiver and awful and a bigot and like all this other stuff or whatever, but then that person keeps denying it. But somehow this one guy is able to convince a whole millions and millions of people that he's not a liar. Some people even think he's the next coming of God. I'm just like, oh, what in the? How stupid are you? Just how stupid are you? Okay. Because yeah, people from my church love him. I was like, and that's when I'm like, ooh, like, because some of the pastors, the assistants of the bishop, ooh, I'm just like, yeah, I'm making sure I never follow you. Like with my social medias, I'm double checking. I don't, yeah, good check, okay, block, no, that's a wrap. That is a wrap right there. But okay, somehow it's like he had, it's, when it comes to marketing and advertising, I've seen some of the things that he's done that he's very talented in when it comes to marketing. But the toxicity and the way, like, especially the bullying, it's like when you tie his marketing and his bullying together, I see it. But at the same time, it's funny how other people don't see the deceiving, the corruption, and things like that, the hatefulness. But at the same time, when those people have the hatefulness, those people love the bully, those people love the bigotry, I see it. But now we have an issue. Now we have the issue of the people who used to warn us about him, the people who were running against him for the same political like spots or even different or whatever, they kept saying, be careful of him. But then they realized whatever I say against him, that's only going to put me down. And I want power. I want the position. I want, etc., etc. Each one wants something different out of it. So even though I know how awful, corrupt, and bigoted he is, I want power. I want. I want what I want. So I'm going to be selfish and I'm going to ride this ride as long as I can. I'm going to get as much power as I can. It's like these people are so stupid that they're going to vote. Okay, if they're going to be that stupid, I'm going to enjoy their stupidity. That's what's going on right now. That's what's going on right now because okay, yeah, with this episode I put some videos and then you know what, I'm if I remember, I might not, I'm going to collect the links. I'm going to see if I can find the quotes that JD Vance used to say about the orange guy back in the day because he's one of the ones that used to warn us. He used to be one of the ones that warned us, guys. And it's crazy if you go and look back at so many of these people, the people who are now working for him, they were the ones that warned us, but they realized in their mind, power, position is better than defending the people that they were running for office for, supposedly. Some of them, it might have been the tax breaks or for the top billionaire corporations to make deals with them so that they'll be able to be millionaires and things like that. So some of them didn't run for the right reasons. I'm thinking of one particular, but yeah, and I'm not just talking about Republicans in that either, because there's one Republican, she that she's a white female, blonde hair. I forget her name, but the corruption and also like even the marathons that she was running, and it's like there's a whole different thing mess with that. Yeah, so yeah, we have corruption all with like well it's worse on the Republican side, but I'm not gonna lie and say it's not on the Democratic side because it is. Okay, a lot. But I'm so glad that they might be passing that law that will stop this like investing in the stock things. That's a step in the right direction, but they have so much more they need to do with that. But a lot of these people used to warn us. A lot of these people used to fight against them, but now that they see the power and now that they see that this crowd will not care about what they say, because remember what the orange guy used to say. Remember what the orange guy used to say at the beginning. And see, black women listen, and I'm going to keep saying this. I don't care how many episodes, I don't care if people get tired of it. What did he say back in the day? We're black women, we paid attention, we knew, we heard, we listened, we comprehended. Because the orange guy used to say, I can, well, okay, he can bang bang somebody in the middle of like, I think a New York street or whatever. And he's gonna like, okay, I'm not quoting, but he basically said that he'll get away with that. What's going on right now? What's going on right now within our country and outside the country? He's caging up people and then start like put like throwing bombs and stuff in some areas. And then he wants kind of to bring slavery back if when you think about it, and or the racism, bigotry when you think about the treatment of black people. And then right like before the election, he kept saying black jobs. 2 or 3 times he said black jobs, and we were asking what are these black jobs. He didn't want to answer because he knew that would cause that would show his racism. He knew It's like he kept blowing it off, but we knew what he meant. But then MAGA, did they believe him? No, they didn't. Oh, he's not racist. Oh no, well, he wants better for you guys. See, he keeps saying he's done more for you guys than any other president. And we know that's a lie. We know that's a lie. But since he said it, they believe it. See, it's the total opposite of my experience. It's the total opposite of my experience. And part of me is just, I'm astounded. Because you have all of these people who kept saying he wants to be a dictator. And he has the books of Hitler and different, like, dictators next to his bed. He wrote a love letter to a dictator. And it's just like all of these things where it was obvious. It was obvious. But okay, now let's look at JD Vance though, because JD Vance used to be the one that what like he threw haterade at him, like maybe not the most, but he was on that like the high tier level of throwing haterade at him. I mean, he was warning us, and in interviews he was saying how disgusted and how awful he was. Now look at him today. He's learning from him. He's studying him. And so part of me is more worried that with the next election, he's going to try to run. And it's like, because I hear that the orange guy's sons are going to run too. So it's going to get messy and interesting too, because it's like, I feel like Vance thinks now that he has worked directly with him and things like that, even though you're like, that sounds like he's been skiing and golfing and doing a lot more, like he's been more vacationing and or on a couch than anything else, but whatever. But it's going to get interesting because especially this man used to throw out so much hate and stuff on the orange guy and say that you better not vote for him. But now that he's gained this vice president position, this powerful position, and everything like that, so now I feel like he's twiddling his thumbs. And maybe like one reason that he jumped for joy is because we first, we kept hearing that the orange guy's medical condition was top tier. He's the healthiest president alive, all this stupid, idiotic lies, whatever. But now we're hearing about one after another, after another, after another. I'm like, Vance must have known. Vance must have known. So I kind of feel like he's doing that villainy, the villainy laugh and the rubbing of the hands or whatever. I feel like that's what he's doing right now. Because he's like, if his health looks like this right now, and I believe he turned 79 years old, and the average age for American men I believe is around 81, 80 or 81. He's just kind of like, hey, it might only be a year, but I have a chance to be the president, not the traditional way, but the traditional vice president way. So it's like I just feel like he's just rubbing his hands together, like I just gotta wait. I just have to be patient. So, and one little hint. Health looks like this right now, and I believe he's using his power more and more. And some mega people are gonna be like, no, you can't look at it that way. It's like he's helping the country. He's saving, like, not. Remember, I'm not one of the poorly educated. You can't fool me. You can't lie to me. I've been paying attention. You're the one. Yeah, yeah, we're talking about people who promoted Doge or whatever and fired all these people and then kept saying how much money and like our tax money was going towards like just terrible awful things or whatever. But then it's like instead of wanting to do like, and then they don't understand the perfect purpose of scientific tests. I need to add that to my list of episodes that I need to do. I don't know when, but I need to do, because some people do not know the importance. Like some tests may sound unimportant, but they don't realize how some scientific tests with studying different features of animals helps cure or helps treat humans in safer and better ways, or in ways that we never would have been able to. And it's just astounding and amazing how we're ignorant, poorly educated MAGA people. You're just wasting money. No, 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 shut up. Like, if you're not a scientist, shut up. Okay. It's like, if you have no idea how science create ideas for medicine, and how they like how the studies are even produced, be quiet. Go to the library, read a book. It's like, I don't know. It's just the ignorance that bothers me. The ignorance within MAGA like, I'm just like, how can you be this ignorant? How can you be this ignorant? Like, But then people keep saying, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get back to the river of racism. Mm. Because people keep saying black people are dumb or dumber, and DEI is the only reason we get jobs and everything like that. But Black women are the most highly educated demographic in this country. And the one reason why we have a harder time with our businesses and with different things because of racism. I know for a fact, because I've had people tell me, if you have a main character that's black, I'm not going to read your book. If you have a main character that has a disability, it's like, I'm not, like, I'm talking about river of bigotry right now because, disability and race. But then people are like, oh, well, if you write your book and stuff like that, don't put your picture on it, because, like, yeah, it's like, my mom might would read it, but if she knew that you were, it's like, I don't think so. Like, yeah, so it's like, people don't understand the racism and stuff that we go through on a daily basis. And even studies that show how, if someone wrote a book where the character was unknown which race they were, but the picture of, like, if it was with a white person, more people would buy it than if it was a black person or a person of color, but especially a black person. Yeah, so you might want to, as like, yeah, I talk about racism. I don't care. I was like, I've been through it. I know it. It's like, I'm black, so but anyway, within the racism spectrum of the MAGA party and the bigotry and the just, I don't, sometimes, especially when, you know what? Okay, I'll talk about this on a different episode, but I will just conclude that, especially when Vance is married to a person of color and has kids that are people of color, I just wonder when, if his wife goes back and gets another job, or when his sons start getting jobs or whatever, it's like, when they get jobs, is he going to allow other people to say they only got this because they are a person of color? It's like, did they just, or it's like, are you going, is he going to make sure they get a job? Because, I mean, a lot of people don't understand the privilege that a lot of Caucasian people have within the business industry. And a lot of times their kids get jobs because of their position, and because it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that's another reason why, like, a lot of African Americans have a harder time moving up the ladder, because a lot of us, we didn't have the privilege of meeting and, like, in knowing those people in the business world. So since we don't know them, they keep us out the door. But especially once you are, like, within politics, especially within the white demographic of politics and stuff, and it's like, even looking at a lot of the Republican reps, when you look at them and how they became millionaires or how they got their money, a lot of them was because of their parents and family and stuff too. But mm, but then they want to have the nerve to call or tell other people they only got positions because of DEI. It's interesting to me, at least. But JD Vance, I just want to know what's going to happen when your kids start looking for jobs and things, or when they start, like, even applying for college too. Because we have to remember, just like my ex, Mr. No Heart's mom, it's like are people gonna say, like, if they get to Princeton, Harvard, or Juilliard or anything like that, are people gonna say that his kids only got into the school because they're people of color and things like that? Are they gonna blame it on the race, or put all the credit on the race and not their talents or brilliance or educated. Like, I don't know how smart they are, whatever, but I'm just assuming or whatever. I'm just assuming or whatever. And so, yeah, they might be average. And they might even be below average because we have to remember with the orange guy, he won't even show his grades. He won't even show his grades. I wonder why. Why won't he show his grades? He keeps saying that he's the smartest man and that he's the smartest president and he's done so much and all this other stuff. When we well, okay, I'll say certain of us know, people who have been paying attention, we know he lying. But then it's like when people are trying to make a difference in this world, and especially if they're African American, the orange guy quickly says that they have low IQ, they're stupid, they're idiots, they're this, they're that, or whatever, while we're watching him do racist, awful, terrible things. But then he has a vice president who used to warn us about him and is married to a woman of color, has kids that are people of color. So I don't know. I'm just like, how can you? It's like you can align yourself and for like you keep forgiving all this stuff, but one day it might affect your wife. One day it might affect your wife, and you probably won't even care. But the last little tidbit, for his 41st birthday, he told, I think, like the army or one of the like like service positions, whatever, to basically allow him to, I believe, go kayaking on the river, or to make the water levels higher so that he can have a more like thrilling experience and stuff on his birthday and stuff. Yeah. So it's like he's using the country, using the system, using our tax dollars. But when are people going to pay attention? When are they going to wake up? Because during the first term that the orange guy was in there, people kept coming out warning us about him. They kept telling us. They kept telling us. And then JD Vance, he warned us until he figured out, until he realized the advantage, until he saw his opportunity. JD Vance found out that it doesn't matter how loud you are. Doesn't matter because the witchcraft, the magic, or whatever powers that the orange man has, it doesn't matter how you fight with him. It doesn't matter what you say against him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what. People are like, especially the bigoted, awful, terrible, poorly educated people, they're drawn to him. And there's such a high population of them. It's such a such a high percentage of them that they overpower with the vote and stuff. They're going to cheer on the bullying and the hatred and the just awful, terrible mistreatment. They cheer. So now he has to join that team. He's understood it that in order to have that power, he has to join that team and ignore the mistreatment of others, the hungry, the poor, the unhoused, and everything. He has to ignore it, and he has no problem because now, as long as he has the power, and as long as he can now get the water high enough so that he can go kayaking and have a blast or whatever on his fort, like he sees the benefits. He doesn't care if it hurts you. At least that's what I've noticed. I could be wrong, but in my opinion, as long as he gains the power, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Just like the orange man, he has learned from him. That is his mentor. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.